Stop thinking about yourself and focus on the world around you. It's not just about your ambitions, your struggles, or your desires. Every moment spent consumed by your own concerns is a moment taken away from making a difference, from building connections, and from understanding the needs of others. Life is not meant to revolve solely around the self. It's about stepping outside of your own mind, your own experiences, and your own worries to see the bigger picture. It's about recognizing that there is a world teeming with opportunities, challenges, and people who may benefit from your presence, your talents, and your care. Self-centered thinking limits your perspective, narrows your possibilities, and traps you in a cycle of dissatisfaction because it focuses on what you lack instead of what you can give. When you shift the focus away from yourself, you start to notice the needs of those around you. You see the struggles of others and realize that empathy is a far greater force than self-pity. You begin to understand that the greatest fulfillment comes from lifting others up, not just climbing your own ladder. There's a profound satisfaction in helping someone who needed it, in being the reason someone else smiles, or in creating an impact that goes beyond personal gain. This world is vast, complex, and interconnected. Everything you do has a ripple effect, so why not let that ripple be one of kindness, generosity, and thoughtfulness rather than one of selfishness, apathy, and isolation? It's easy to think about yourself. It's natural to prioritize your needs, your pain, and your growth. But ease and natural inclination do not lead to greatness. Greatness requires transcending the small, immediate concerns of the self and embracing the infinite possibilities of thinking beyond. The most inspiring people in history are not those who achieved personal success for their own benefit, but those who achieved it with the purpose of lifting humanity, of serving others, and of contributing to something far larger than themselves. Think of the leaders, the innovators, and the caregivers who shaped the world by putting others first. Their impact endures because they understood that life is not just about what you take but what you give. Stop thinking about yourself and start asking how you can serve. Service doesn't have to be grandiose or world-changing at every step. It can be as simple as lending an ear, showing up for someone in need, or choosing to be patient and understanding when the world tests your limits. The small gestures often create the most profound changes because they ripple outward. When you stop obsessing over your own narrative, you gain clarity. You begin to see paths and opportunities that were obscured by self-doubt, envy, or fear. Life becomes less about control and more about connection, less about possessing and more about contributing. This shift in focus doesn't mean neglecting yourself. It doesn't mean ignoring your needs or silencing your voice. On the contrary, it's about aligning your life in such a way that your personal growth and well-being contribute to the greater good. A life well lived is one that strikes a balance between self-care and selflessness, between ambition and altruism, between striving for personal success and ensuring that success uplifts others. When you stop thinking about yourself as the center of the universe, you open yourself to a universe of opportunities, relationships, and experiences that are far richer and more rewarding. Life is too short to be consumed by selfishness, too fragile to waste on worries that revolve only around you, and too precious to spend on shallow pursuits. There is a deeper purpose waiting for you, one that can only be realized when you choose to see beyond your own needs and wants. Stop thinking about yourself, not because your feelings and experiences don't matter, but because you are capable of so much more than just thinking inwardly. You are capable of creating, building, healing, and inspiring. You are capable of making this world better, brighter, and more compassionate. And that begins the moment you decide to focus on what you can do for others, not just what you can do for yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, today we stand at a critical juncture in our collective journey, faced with challenges that not only test our resolve, but also demand from us a unity of purpose and action. In a world marked by relentless change, where the pace of innovation races ahead of our ability to fully comprehend its implications, we are reminded that the greatest challenges are not those imposed by external forces, but those that stem from within, our own indifference, hesitation, and complacency. The power to effect change, to create a future that is defined by progress and inclusion, lies in the choices we make today, in the actions we take to shape the course of tomorrow. History has shown us that human potential knows no bounds when driven by a common cause and fueled by an unyielding commitment to betterment. Whether it was the scientific breakthroughs that revolutionized our understanding of the universe or the social movements that redefined equality and justice, each step forward was made possible by individuals who dared to imagine a world beyond their own limitations, a world where their contributions would resonate beyond their time. And now, as we stand on the cusp of extraordinary possibilities, we are called to rise above division and distraction, to focus our energies on what truly matters, not only for ourselves but for generations yet to come. It is not enough to merely identify problems and lament the state of the world. Words alone will not pave the way to progress. It is through our deeds, our unwavering commitment to integrity, empathy, and purpose, that we will forge a path forward. We must embrace the belief that every small action, every seemingly insignificant decision, contributes to a greater whole, forming the bedrock of a society that values humanity above all else. Let us reject cynicism and apathy, for they are the greatest obstacles to achievement. Let us instead cultivate a mindset of curiosity, resilience, and hope, acknowledging that the challenges we face are not insurmountable, but are opportunities to demonstrate the strength of our character and the depth of our resolve. The journey ahead may be arduous, fraught with uncertainty and difficulty, but it is a journey worth undertaking, for the stakes could not be higher. It is our shared future that hangs in the balance, a future that will be defined not by what we inherit but by what we create. Now is the time to think not of ourselves but of each other, to recognize that our destinies are interwoven and that our actions ripple outward, affecting lives far beyond our immediate perception. This interconnectedness demands that we approach every challenge with a spirit of cooperation and mutual respect, for only together can we surmount the trials that lie ahead. Let us remember that progress is never the result of passive observation. It is the product of collective effort, born of determination and driven by a vision of a better tomorrow. Let us be the architects of change, the stewards of hope, and the champions of humanity. In doing so, we honor the sacrifices of those who came before us, and we inspire those who will follow in our footsteps. The moment to act is now, and the opportunity to make a difference is ours to seize. Life is a series of moments strung together by our choices, our relationships, and our actions, and yet so often we find ourselves consumed by distractions, unable to fully immerse ourselves in the present. We allow ourselves to be weighed down by fear of the future or regret for the past, forgetting that every breath we take is an opportunity to create meaning. In this chaotic world, we are constantly bombarded with noise, with opinions, with demands on our time and energy, and it becomes easy to lose sight of the simplicity of human connection, the power of a kind word, or the profound beauty of silence. Every day, people move through life disconnected from the purpose that drives them, not because they lack the capacity to discover it, but because they have been conditioned to seek validation from others rather than from within. Society often tells us that success is defined by tangible accomplishments, by titles, by accolades, but these things are fleeting. True fulfillment comes not from external recognition but from the quiet moments when we know we have acted with integrity, when we have extended compassion to others, when we have contributed to something greater than ourselves. And yet, we live in a culture that glorifies the pursuit of personal gain over collective well-being, that prioritizes efficiency over empathy, and that values convenience over connection. But what if we chose to look at life differently? What if we committed to slowing down, to listening deeply, to seeing the humanity in every person we encounter? Imagine the impact we could have if we approached every situation with curiosity rather than judgment, if we sought understanding instead of seeking to be understood. Every interaction, no matter how small, holds the potential to leave a lasting impression, to ripple outward in ways we cannot predict. And it is in these moments of awareness, of mindfulness, that we can begin to reclaim the parts of ourselves that have been overshadowed by doubt and distraction. It is not easy to live with intention in a world that thrives on superficiality, but it is necessary if we are to create a future that reflects our deepest values. Each of us has a role to play in this process, and it begins with the courage to ask ourselves hard questions, to confront our biases, to acknowledge our flaws, and to commit to growth. Change does not happen in an instant, but in a series of small, deliberate steps, each one requiring effort and resilience. And while it may feel overwhelming at times, we must remind ourselves that we are not alone in this journey. There is strength to be found in community, in shared experiences, in the knowledge that others are walking alongside us, even when the path ahead feels uncertain. So let us strive not for perfection but for progress, not for applause but for authenticity, and not for dominance but for understanding. Because in the end, the legacy we leave will not be measured by the material possessions we accumulate or the power we wield, but by the lives we touch, the kindness we share, and the love we give. Every day is a chance to be better, to do better, and to inspire others to do the same. And while the road may be long, it is in the journey that we find our purpose, our connection, and our humanity. Every single moment we experience is an intricate tapestry of decisions, opportunities, challenges, and reflections. Life is not merely a linear journey from one milestone to another. It is an elaborate web of connections that define who we are and who we strive to become. At its core, the human experience is bound by the collective and the individual, by the shared stories that bind us to one another and the singular paths we tread in pursuit of meaning. It is about resilience in the face of adversity, courage in moments of doubt, and the ever-present hope that propels us forward even when the world seems overwhelmingly complex. To live is to engage with the uncertainty of the unknown, to embrace the inevitability of change, and to accept that not every question will find an answer. Growth is not always linear. Progress is not always evident. There are days when we feel invincible, as though the universe aligns perfectly with our desires. Yet, there are other days when every step feels heavy, every choice seems wrong, and every breath is a struggle against invisible burdens. But it is within these very contrasts that the beauty of existence reveals itself. The shadows make the light brighter, and the trials make triumphs sweeter. The essence of being human lies in the interplay of action and reflection. Every thought that lingers in our minds, every word spoken, every decision made, they ripple outward into the lives of others. The smallest gestures, a kind smile, a helping hand, or a word of encouragement, hold the potential to shift the trajectory of someone else's life. It is in these seemingly inconsequential moments that humanity finds its strength, its essence, and its purpose. As individuals, we bear a responsibility not just to ourselves, but to the communities we inhabit and the generations that will follow us. Our legacy is not measured by wealth, power, or fame, but by the ways in which we contribute to the greater good. It is reflected in the values we uphold, the empathy we extend to those around us, and the relentless pursuit of truth and justice. To ignore this responsibility is to deny the very nature of our interconnectedness. Yet, even as we navigate these broader responsibilities, we must not lose sight of the importance of self-discovery and self-care. To contribute meaningfully to the world, we must first nurture our own well-being. The act of seeking balance between self-interest and altruism is not selfish, it is necessary. Only when we are in tune with our own needs, strengths, and limitations can we fully extend ourselves to others. Let us remember that life is not defined by grand, fleeting achievements but by the accumulation of small, consistent efforts. It is about showing up every day, striving to be better, and refusing to give in to cynicism or apathy. We must be unafraid to dream, to fail, and to start again. The path forward is not always clear, but it is always there, waiting for us to take the first step, then the next and the next after that. To live meaningfully is to embrace the duality of existence. The highs and lows, the victories and losses, the joys and sorrows. It is about recognizing that imperfection is not a flaw but a testament to our humanity. It is about choosing love over fear, connection over isolation, and hope over despair. And it is about understanding that while our time here is finite, the impact we leave can reverberate for generations to come. This, then, is the call to action, not one of urgency or desperation, but of quiet, steady determination. To live with intention, to act with compassion, and to believe that even the smallest efforts matter. In doing so, we do not simply exist, we truly live.